What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So it has been super busy with me lately, trying to get this machine running, and I think we got it pretty well dialed in. I'm pretty excited about that. And basically, for those of you who don't know yet, I've been talking about that thing like nonstop. That is my new CNC plasma cutting machine, plasma table. And what that's gonna do is it's basically gonna allow me to do a few things. One, cut my own brackets for the 2017 plus bumper conversions on the OBS trucks. They should work for like 92 through 97 trucks and Broncos. But yeah, so it's gonna allow me to cut that and also prototype a whole bunch of other parts that I want to make for that truck, and possibly in the future sell as well. So I'm pretty excited about that. And I haven't gone into detail very much about it because I didn't have it all put together, but I want to talk about it today a little bit. So basically what this is a Crossfire CNC table by these guys. And it's pretty small. It's got 25 inches, I think, by 33. This is the XL model, so it actually uses the entire bed. As you can see, it has those longer rails. The regular version has this rail up to about right there, and you can only use the bed from about here, I think, on. Actually, no, from about there on. So you don't actually get to use the whole table with the regular model, but with this being the XL, you use the whole table, so it's pretty cool. It's super easy to put together. As you can see, it's a very simple frame, and the whole thing is pretty easy to put together. A buddy and I put it together in a couple hours, so it was very simple. The other part to this equation is the actual plasma cutter. I got an Everlast 82i power plasma, and this thing is a beast. It will basically cut anything, and that's the cool thing about plasma, is that you can actually cut pretty much anything. So you can do aluminum, stainless steel, mild steel, and it should cut through everything. Now, I don't remember the actual thicknesses that I can cut, but it can do way more than what we need right now, which for the most part will probably be cutting 1/4 inch and smaller for most of the stuff that we'll be making. So that is more than enough. I could have gone away with getting a much smaller machine, but I kind of wanted to, I guess, future-proof myself for the day that hopefully we can get an actual full-size plasma table. We'll have the plasma to be able to run it. And like I have already talked in a few of my other videos, we also need an air compressor to drive the plasma. And like I had said, this is a Cobalt 60-gallon 175 psi air compressor, 2-stage. This thing's pretty good too. I ran this thing pretty much all morning doing test cuts, and this thing only ran once, so I think that's pretty good. At least it's good enough for what I need. So I want to show you kind of the test cuts that I have been running on this thing. Like I said, I spent all morning doing test cuts to try and kind of dial in the machine. And this is kind of what I started. It's not that bad. It's a little bit rough. The lead in and the lead outs are pretty bad on it. And this had draws like no other. And draws, for those of you who don't know, is basically all this stuff in the back that you get left behind when you cut. Also, I don't know if you'll be able to see, but maybe there. The cuts aren't like perfectly straight up and down, and that's something that you'll get basically with any plasma, but if you get the right settings, you can get them pretty straight. But yeah, as you can see, slowly I started getting better, but it still had a really bad angle to it. This one, again, a little bit better. Still a pretty bad angle. The lead ins and the lead outs were horrible on that. And then we went to this. This was almost perfect. still had a pretty bad lead in or lead out, and we still had a little bit of angle to this piece. And this was basically one of the last parts that we cut out, and this one came out pretty much perfect. There's very minimal angle to that cut, and the lead in and lead out are almost perfect. So now what I want to do is actually cut a bracket and kind of show you guys this thing in action, because this thing, I don't know, it's amazing. So I actually have a little bit of experience with these things. I ran an actual like huge one of these back in at another job that I used to work at, and I also used to work designing parts for that machine to cut. So I've kind of done it both. You know, I've worked with the engineers designing the parts, and I've actually worked down in the shop using the machines, cutting the parts. That's actually where I got the idea to buy this thing like 2 years ago, when I used to work at that other job. I thought it'd be really cool to have one at the house. So now, like I said, we design our parts on the computer. We have him, this is basically Mac 3, and this is what controls the machine. So once I made the design, which, let me see if I can show it to you guys. Okay, so here is the part that I actually designed on the computer. As you can see, it's the bumper brackets that I made. Again, I designed these things, and now I'm gonna be able to make them here at the house. So now, like I said, with the part designed, loaded on the software that controls the table, we are gonna load a fresh sheet of 1/4" steel, get the machine basically to this corner and cut it out. Man, this thing is freaking cool. Now the one bad thing about the Everlast is that the fan always runs. So if you can hear that noise, it's that thing. It's super loud. Sorry about that. But we are just about ready to get this thing started. Everything looks good, and let's hit it. And it's pretty cool already. It's got the optional water table, as you can see by the mess that I made. But it's worth it because it keeps your part pretty cool. On thinner stuff, it keeps it from warping, and it controls your fumes. And now, like I said, this thing is pretty damn clean. Like, this is all stuff that will like pretty much just flake off with your nail. That is super clean. Again, the edge is super nice and clean. And now I can finally make these things here at the house and sell them to you guys whenever you guys want them. Here in a little bit, we're actually gonna take the bumper off my truck and install one of the brackets, because I made some changes to them to make them fit a little bit better. They've always fit good. I never had anybody complain about the way they fit, but from the way that I've installed mine, I've noticed that they could use some tweaking, and that's basically because when I first, well, I guess I'll go into it once I take the bumper off, which is what we'll do probably tomorrow because it's already getting dark. It'll be in this video though, don't worry. So here in a little bit, we'll jump to that, to me taking the bumper off, and I'll explain again one more time how to install them and what else I got to do to my personal truck to put them on. So anyways, let's go ahead and do that. Okay guys, so it's the next day, and like I said, let me hit these lights real quick. I want to fix the lighting situation in this garage. I know it's completely off topic, but I want to put a bunch of LED lights in the garage because the lighting in here has always been horrible. So hopefully if you get the budget soon, I want to put a bunch of more lights in here. But anyways, back to this. So like I said, I'm gonna go ahead and take this bumper off and try out the new brackets, see how they fit, and if they fit good, we'll go ahead and post them for sale. Which, if everything goes good, by the time that this video is up, I should have my website open, blowingdiesel.com. I'll leave a link to it down below if it's already running, so you guys can go and actually check out the brackets and be able to buy them straight from the website and get them shipped out to you, which should be way better than how I used to do it through PayPal. Okay guys, sorry to interrupt. I just want to let you know that the website is running, so go ahead, check it out, blowingdiesel.com. The website, the brackets are on the website. It's basically the only thing that's on the website, but go check it out. Have patience with me. My wife and I made the website. So it's not the fanciest thing in the world, but it gets the job done. Again, you can go ahead, check out the brackets, buy them, and we'll ship them out to you. And like I said, it's just way easier that way. So anyways, back to the video. Okay, so we got the bumper off, we got this bracket off, and I'm actually gonna cut this one off. This was the original bracket that I had made for myself, which I welded on, which wasn't the best decision, but it's on there. The brackets are back on the truck, both of them, and I'm not trying to make like a full install video because I've already done like 2 of those. So I'm just gonna give you kind of like an overview and some tips. So with the brackets on, you obviously use the 2 center holes to mount them to the frame. And I like having my hardware go in towards the truck. And as far as the orientation, it's kind of hard to see, but the holes are a little bit offset. So the ones that are outside of the truck go up a little higher. The holes that are on the inside of the truck, they go a little bit lower. So that's kind of the orientation they want to look for on these. So when I first put these brackets, I do 2 things. If you choose the optional hardware kit that brings all the bolts and nuts, you're gonna have a whole bunch of extra washers, and that's to basically shim the bumper in place and get it perfectly lined up. And 4 of those washers go on these bolts, 2 and 2, in between the bracket and the frame. I don't know, I probably can't see, but they're right in there. That will give you a little bit of space out. Now, if you want your bumper to sit even further out, what I would do is run longer bolts and then an actual spacer. Or you could stack more washers, but I think an actual spacer would be better. And you can space it out more that way. And you can do that for this and for these two, so you can get a little bit more space out that way. So once you have these brackets bolted, I do like to get them tight, just because it'll be easier to get them tight while they are right here, if you're going to be keeping all of your plastics with your bumper. So now we're going to do the fun part, which is going to be actually throwing the bumper on. So I'm going to do that off camera real quick again, and then I'll check back in with you to kind of tell you the last few little details. Also, if you didn't know, the frame horns do have to get cut if you want a nice clean install. So these horns come out to about right there, so maybe like 4 or 5 more inches. I cut them just so that they sit nice and inside of those plastics, so the bumper looks nice and clean. Now, if you don't want to cut them, that's fine. You can run the bumper with the horns, but they'll just basically poke out through the bumper, and you won't get that nice clean look. But yeah, I'm gonna throw the bumper on, and like I said, I'll check back in with you guys once that is on. So we got the bumper on, and okay, to be honest with you, the other thing's always a pain in the ass to put on by yourself, but it's absolutely doable. It's not really heavy, it's just very awkward. But we got it on, and it is always a sight. I always love the way this thing looks, and man, the lighting's always horrible in this garage. Like I said, I want to get it fixed. But anyways, it looks great. But now comes the real fun part, which is getting it leveled. And like I said, that's why I give those extra washers, shims, to get it level. And this is what I'm talking about. So as you can see, the bumper from this edge or corner to this one is not perfectly level. And basically what I like to do to fix that is, the way we'll do that is by adding washers to these two bolts in between the bumper and our bracket. So we'll start with maybe 2 washers on each hole, and that should push this kind of back like this, which should push that edge up. So either 1 or 2 washers. I might start with 1 and see what that gives me, and if not, I'll throw another washer on there. It's done, and it's looking so good. So we got that gap, I would say basically perfect right now. And like I said, we did 2 washers on each one of these bolts and 1 washer on the frame to bracket bolt to get it exactly how we wanted it. And I gotta say, it turned out perfect, like always. So like I said, you know, you have to work with it a little bit, but you can get it perfectly, exactly like you want it. And I don't know, I love the way these things fit. I think it's just perfect. They are a little bit wider than your fender, but really not by much at all. That's about 1 inch. And that's another thing that you have to make sure is to get them even on both sides and level as well. And this thing is looking great. You do have to trim the bumper depending on your wheel and tire setup. These bumpers do hang down lower than your OBS bumper. So this is what I trimmed on mine. I trimmed down right here and then all the way across. And another thing is, if you have an RSK, a reverse shackle kit. So if you do have a reverse shackle kit, or maybe even with your stock leaf springs and your shackles, you might have a little bit of a clearance issue right here, but all you have to do is trim this here to make it fit. I don't know if you can see, but that is where my shackle used to hit when I still had them. So very lightly, it basically has self-clearance itself. So but like I said, if you do have an RSK, just trim this a little bit and you should be good. Okay, so now another project that I want to work on, not today, but in a little bit in the future, is doing something with the tow hooks, either finding a way to install them, and I know that it can be done. One of the guys that I sold brackets to, he did it himself, and it can be done. It just requires a lot of cutting, and obviously once you have them on, I wouldn't really use them to actually tow the truck, because I don't think it's secure enough. But another thing that I was thinking about doing is installing some LED lights, and that's just kind of thrown on there. But I think that would actually look pretty cool. These are just some LEDs that I've had sitting on my shelf for like 2 years. But having it there, sitting back obviously a little bit, so what I would do is cut this out and have this sit back as far as possible, or maybe not even these, maybe some like smaller ones. I think that would be pretty cool. And then, so having these right there, and then maybe replacing these with some pods too, some similar ones, I think that would look pretty cool. And it would really light up the night. So yeah, I think that's gonna be a project for another day. As well as I am gonna be working on 6.4 bumper brackets. I know a lot of you have asked me about that. So if you are interested on 6.4 brackets, just hang on tight. Sometime next week, I'm gonna start working on those and get them ready for you guys, as well as a few other projects that I do have in mind. And if there's anything that you would like to see me do, definitely let me know. Leave me a comment down below, and go check the website, because it's up and running. You can go ahead and check these brackets out, buy them, and yeah, just check it out. Even if this video is old, hopefully I'll have more products on there by then. By then. I guess we'll see. But yeah, check the website out. My wife and I worked our butt off on getting that thing running. It's not perfect, but I think it's pretty good, and I'm pretty proud of it. My wife is amazing. I can't believe she did most of the work on the website. I did a little bit, and it's a work in progress. The inventory on there is a work in progress. Right now, the only thing that we have is our brackets, but we are working on getting more brackets, more stuff. And if you guys are interested, hopefully in the future we'll have shirts, stickers, stuff like that. Like I said, I'm working on it. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. I know that I had done this before, but it's just another quick video to show you guys about it, and to let you know that we are selling our own brackets now. So leave us a like, leave us a comment, subscribe, check out the website, and we'll see you for the next one.